The prophet of thought. Open your mind. 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 Hey guys, T.P.O.T. on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But you knew that already. Peace, folks. Open your mind. Wednesday, we throw down in the digital square circle on Hours of Power debates. Thursday, we get at it with DXL, Dark Exodus Live. So come through, 9:30 p.m., right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. You know.
And now, a word from our sponsor. This exciting episode comes courtesy of Obsidian versus the World. Hey fellas, you know my Obsidian versus the Black Love Industry series have been so popular that we here at Obsidian Radio decided to just go all out with it, since everybody and their grandmama is gunning for me anyway, like, oh, it's John Wick or something. Fuck it. We're gonna do a brand new show over at Brother Xavier's Prophet of Thought channel right here on YouTube. We call it Obsidian versus the World. That's right, fellas. Obsidian versus the World. This is a special show that is aimed at all the haters of your Lord and Master, Mumia Obsidian Ali. Think you got what it takes to take on the O-Man, Mano, Amano? Step right up and let's see what you got. In this show, Obsidian versus the World. I take on all comers, even up to 4 of you knuckleheads at the same time. That's right. Never before have you seen one man defeat 4 knuckleheads at the same time in rhetorical battle. It all goes down this Saturday at 8 p.m. EDT. Mark your calendar, get your popcorn ready, because it's Obsidian versus the World. Don't miss it. Obsidian versus the World. It all goes down on Saturday at the Prophet of Thought channel on YouTube. I'll see you then. And thank you.
Open your mind.
The prophet of thought. It's the new Dark Exodus live.
DXL. know. Peace, folks. Sorry about that, y'all. Don't got my glasses on, so I have a tendency to hit the wrong shit. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, serious show. Y'all know we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the petition that brother J.I. is the architect of. And I said I would get the brother up here and let him do a presentation about it. We'll take some questions and all that kind of stuff. But first, before we get started, like always, I always thank you, good folks, for your support, for your subscriptions, your views, your likes, your shares, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize you don't have to do it. You don't. You don't have to watch these damn videos. You don't have to show up to these streams. You don't have to like them. You don't have to share them. You don't have to do any of that. And you definitely don't have to come up off of your hard-earned coins. But you choose to do so. You choose to do so. Y'all support this platform so much, man. You know, and I know that y'all are the reason that this platform has grown. Y'all are the reason. It ain't just me. It's y'all too. Y'all played a part in it too. So I want y'all to know, man, that I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm thankful, man. And I'm grateful for all of you good folks. All right. You good folks in here and you good folks out there. Because without you, man, this shit wouldn't be what it is. All right. Like I always say, man, there's not too many places I can go and nobody knows who I am. And I know that's not just because of me. I know it's because of all of y'all. So for that, I thank you, all of you good folks out there. All right. All right. So tonight, of course, we got Brother J.I. here as promised. And we're going to let him come up and he's going to lay it out. I'm probably not going to say too much, maybe ask a few questions, but we're going to let the brother lay out his presentation. So let me bring in my folk. Brother J.I. What's good with it, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. We talked about this petition that you are the architect of. We talked about it a few weeks ago. I wanted to get you on, full disclosure. I had wrote you and told you that a brother wanted to talk to you about it. And I guess you couldn't come on that night. So we discussed
Are you
it a
talking about
little
Brother
bit.
Moses?
Yes. And
No,
we
I wanted to debate whether
mhm,
financial abortion, whether men
mhm,
should have financial abortion or not. Is whether you
mhm,
believe men should have it, yes or no.
mhm,
He was trying to debate what good would my petition do. That's too. I don't want to debate that. I wanted
mhm.
to debate what should men have financial abortion, not yes or no, not whether you think my going about it is effective or not. That is just opinion. No. So that's why
Okay.
we and then he you said he declined debating that point. Should men have it? I thought he was going to argue against it, but he declined it.
Well, not I don't have to defend Brother Moses. He's perfectly capable of doing that for himself, but I think he was more interested in getting the understanding of it because he did come on that night and we discussed it. But at the end of that stream, I said that I would get you on at some point and let you lay it out for the folks who may need some clarity about it. And not just for the folks, for myself. I've had you on before, and you touched on it a little bit, but this was before the petition. Now that the petition is out there and everybody knows about it, won't you go ahead and just lay it out, lay out the whole premise of it, what you want to achieve by it, and
All right.
what made you do it. You just lay it out. You got the floor, brother.
All right. And I don't know what happened, but okay, let me get my wrench back, Prophet.
Well,
But
actually, I took a lot of people's wrenches because so a lot of shit has happened since the last time you and I have spoke. We can talk about that in the back chat. But yeah, I took a lot of people's wrenches. I took a lot of people's wrenches, but I'm slowly giving them back. I'm slowly giving them back. So don't worry. Do not worry, folks. All right.
Well, let me
go
hop
ahead.
right into it then.
Lay it out.
So my petition as reads, I'm just gonna read it real quick because it's not long. It says a man and a woman have sex, both giving their consent to the act. The woman gets pregnant. She has a choice if she wants to have an abortion or not, and she deserves this choice. Yet the man has no more choices after they both consent to sex. Men deserve financial abortion. Men may not carry the child physically, but it impacts their life just as much, and they deserve a say in when they become parents. This is not about men wearing protection or not having sex. This is not about men forcing women to do anything with their bodies. This is about men having no rights after sex is had, which is unfair to men. Men deserve the right to financial abortion and to choose when they become parents after sex, just like women. So, a lot of people, common misconception about my petition is that I somehow wish to control women. Couldn't be further from the truth. If you read the petition and have understanding, it's simply about equal rights. I just want the law to be equal to both men and women. A lot of men, particularly in this space, will tell you the laws are unfair against men. They are. If you've ever been a man and had any type of situation with a woman, you know it's a losing battle. You know that either A, you win the fight and it's, oh, you won this dispute with the woman, good for you. Or you lose a dispute with the woman and then it's, oh, you lost to a woman. A man can't win. And the way society is set up, if the police get called any type of altercation, the man's going to jail. If when it comes to child support, it's not for the benefit of the child, it's to the detriment of the man. And I believe that this is because the system wants broken men, because the system needs fodder from the women to continue to keep vote for government and things like that. But this petition, for me, is so important because it starts with this. If a man cannot control his seed, his lineage, which is the leverage point that society uses to break men, by the way, and family court and all this, if a man can control that, then that will alleviate a lot of issues. Women have the right to abortion. Women can kill the child, can kill it. Nobody wants to bat an eye. Women have the right to kill the child in their womb, and they do every single day. Can kill them. But a man is just stuck. The condom broke, you're stuck. She stole your sperm, you're stuck. You told her beforehand that you didn't want kids. You're stuck. She told you she couldn't get pregnant. You're stuck. She told you she was on the pill and then she stopped taking it without you knowing. You're stuck. This is unfair. See, after conception, men's rights end. And I don't believe that that's fair or right at all. And this isn't about men um, controlling women's bodies. And it's not the point that men don't carry the child, so they shouldn't have a say. I believe that a woman should have the say over her body in totality. I'm fine with that. But this decision that she gets to make that the man has no input on, it affects the man's life just as much. And for his entire life, there are men that are in jail, in prison right now over child support. And people are quick to say, oh, well, child support isn't that much, the average payment isn't that much, blah, blah, blah. It's enough to get a man locked up. It's enough to ruin a man's life. It's enough to get a man's passport, his driver's license stripped. And I'll ask you this, I'll wage this to the people that say that it's about the child. If it's about the child, at what point does imprisoning the child's father help that child? In what way does that help that child? It doesn't. How's the man going to make any money from jail? How's the man going to see his child, take care of his child from jail? Huh? How's that man going to get out and be able to get to work without a license? How's he going to be able to improve the situation? It's not about the children at all. But that's another flaw in this system. In my humble opinion, it starts with men being able to control when they become parents, just like women. It's equality under the law. Women have long since harped on that they want to be equal to men. I believe they should be under the law. We should give it to them. We should not try at all to slant the law in anybody's favor. It should be equal. And with the wording of my petition, with what I'm asking for, women don't lose any rights. Men just gain them. And that's the other part that a lot of people don't want to talk about. They just don't want men to have any rights. See, they're fine with women having rights. They understand my body, my choice. But they don't want men having any say in something that affects their life, period. And let me dismantle another common misconception. My petition, financial abortion doesn't mean, okay, the child turns 9 years old and the man's just like, okay, I'm done. No. It would be once the woman's pregnant and the man, well, actually, let me back up. It wouldn't be once the woman's pregnant because we all know that a woman may not tell the man when she's pregnant. He may not even know because, believe it or not, a lot of these kids are had by situationships, one night stands, things where your number isn't even saved in the man's phone. And oftentimes the woman may not even know who the father is, so the man may not find out until well after the child is born. So whenever the man is made aware, he should have an option. Hey, do you want to be a parent? And if he does not, financial abortion, free and clear. And if he does agree, then he should be, that should be pending based upon a DNA test. If he does opt into it. Now, if you do opt into it and it's yours, then yeah, you got to go, the parent route, and that's fine. But you had a choice, just like that woman had a choice. I heard some wisdom one time. It said a woman may get pregnant on accident, but she's having that baby on purpose. Say that again. A woman may get pregnant on accident, but she's having that baby on purpose. Okay? And I don't care about people's grandiose thoughts that their morality is better than anybody else's. Okay, I don't care about your sense of morality. I don't care about your moral compass. As I like to say, everybody's going to somebody's hell. Everybody's going to somebody's hell. That means you're not holding up to the moral standards of somebody, of some religion. And people, especially black folks, love to get real religious when the man's talking about walking away. Oh, how could you do it? Oh, blah, blah, so on. But nothing to say about the premarital sex. Nothing to say about the decisions that got them there. While the woman has all the power in the driver's seat, they want to try to demonize the man. I'm here to tell men, do not care about any of that. Men, we have to fight for our rights as vehemently as women fought for theirs. And I will lay a lot of the issues with the men. I started this petition because I said if I can get enough traction, get enough attention, okay, we can start making some moves. At a certain point, it was going to grow into something larger. There have been petitions break off and get actual things changed once they garner enough attention. So I wanted to see, okay, I'm gonna put this out here. I'm a champion at every chance I get. Let's see what kind of traction this can get. So far, I'm at 152 signatures. This tells me that a lot of men are not for their own best interests. At least the men that have seen this petition, sadly, because women understand this. I've spoken with many women about this, in real life and on this space. Women understand not to go against their self-interest, meaning even if they quote unquote don't agree with abortion, they still want the woman to have the right to do it, period, because they understand that's in that woman's best interest. But when it comes to men, we have more, I guess, morality complex, or just too many men have been indoctrinated by the system that wants them to be a certain way. You shouldn't want to be a deadbeat or whatever, blah, blah, blah. All that shaming language, none of that works on me because I don't care about any of it. Men need to step up in a major way and begin fighting politically for what makes sense for us. And I'm talking about, I believe men should be out here marching and rioting over this because this impacts so many men on a daily basis. The lack of reproductive rights for men. And the beauty of this is people say, oh, this will never change. This will never, ever be past the laws. Guess what? We live in a day and age where Bruce Jenner won Woman of the Year. Let that sink in for you. Bruce Jenner won Woman of the Year. And I'm not a mod anymore. X, can you drop the link to my petition in the chat so some people can see it whenever you
I
get a
got you.
chance?
I got you.
Appreciate it. And understand what that means. Bruce Jenner won Woman of the Year. So I don't want to hear anything about what's impossible. We live in a day and age where men can become women can become men. Nothing is set in stone anymore. It's anything goes. Okay? It's anything goes. So all this lazy talk that I hear about, oh, it's just going to be too hard. You're never going to get that to pass. We were once slaves in this country. We were once slaves in this country. Now we're not. Now, was it a long, hard fought road to get to where we are now? Absolutely. Is it perfect as it is now? Absolutely not. It's never going to be perfect. But you have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. You got to draw the line somewhere. You have to. You have to. So for me, this petition was about getting an awareness out, getting the conversation just had, because a lot starts with conversation. Once you begin speaking, then ideas begin implanted, like the movie Inception. You never know what you say, who's going to hear it, and what type of impact it's going to have on them. So even if I'm not the one to actually get this thing moved around, what I say may plant the seed in someone who's able to. Because there's a lot going on today that, 50 years ago, we wouldn't have been having conversations about bathrooms. It was asinine. You wouldn't have the conversation about men becoming women openly. It was unfathomable. Gay people wouldn't have been able to be married. You wouldn't even talk like that. It didn't make any sense. People used to smoke on airplanes. The world changes, is my point. All right. But in order for it to change, it has to have a catalyst to change. We have to be that catalyst. There's gonna be a lot of naysayers, but anything's possible. Period. You can miss me with the it's impossible argument. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be a long road. But ultimately, in my opinion, if you are for equality under the law for men and women, truly, then it's as simple as this. If a woman can have an abortion, a man should be able to have an abortion too. How does a man have an abortion without imposing his rights, his will on the woman's body? Make his financial, okay, because it impacts his life just as much as it does the woman. All right, I'm done with my spiel. You can ask me
All
anything
right.
you
Well,
want.
let me ask you this, brother Ji. Let's make this clear. You're not making a moral argument, because us black folks, we bring, emotions and morality and all this kind of nonsense into it. You're not making a moral argument though, right? You're making a legal argument, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. So do you think that one of the things that will stand, because there are going to be some things that stand in your way. Now, me personally, I do not think this is impossible. And I said it that night. It's not going to be impossible to get this thing, working its way through the annals of legislation. I don't think it's going to be impossible, but I do think it's going to be tough. Now, what do you think will stand in front of it the most? Hopping the moral barriers or the legal barriers? What do you think is going to stand against you the most?
I will say 100% the legal barriers. Let me be clear. This country has no morality, in my opinion. It doesn't. There's this popular song going around called WAP. The morality has left the building. Okay, this country has no morals. You have children being given TV shows where they're changing their genders and transitioning into another gender because they were born in the wrong body. This country has no morals. I do not believe the moral hurdle will be the biggest issue by any stretch of the imagination. It will 100% be legal. Now, people, when it comes to law, they pretend that they have some type of moral ground to stand on, but they do not at all. So I 100% believe that the legislation piece is going to be the issue because something like this, something as radical as this, is going to take a lot of time to push this message. Is going to be costly, but to me, it starts with getting the message out, getting this conversation had, but definitely the legislation hurdle for sure.
So I think a lot of people get it misconstrued, because I've heard people talk, because it has become a talking piece. The petition that JI is architect of has become a talking piece around here in this YouTube environment. And I've heard people say that you want to control a woman's body, and this aborting financially means that once she's pregnant, she must get an abortion if you say so. Now, I know that's not what you said, but you have people that are saying that. So do you think that that would be a problem because the word abortion is in the phrase? Do you think that would be a problem with black folks?
No, the problem, see, people purposely misrepresent what I'm saying. Now, I do believe that there's going to be a lot of that going on. There's already been a lot of that. People have deflected when they discuss it with me ad nauseum. That's just going to happen because people are going to try to tear you down, and they know that if you just say something negative against someone, most people are just going to run with it. They're not going to actually intellectually look into it to see if it's true. They're just going to run with it, and they hear the term, and since it's so unspoken of, unheard of, and we're like, oh, he wants to control women's bodies. But if you read my petition, nowhere do I say that. And it's just going to be people up to the individual to have sense enough to understand what I'm saying. And if they're too emotional to purposely misrepresent what I'm saying, and not understand just off the simple basis from a 1 + 1 = 2 argument. You should be able to understand from equality under law. If a woman can do it, there has to be an equivalent for the man to be able to do it legally. If you can't get that, then those people, I can't be bothered with them anyway.
So let me ask you this. Is this about not wanting the kid, or is this about not wanting to pay for the kid, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination. It was really mostly just about not wanting the kid. If a woman doesn't want a kid, she can go get rid of it. Period. Now, they love to say it's her body, but her decision impacts the man just as much. There are men sitting in jail right now. Their only crime having a kid that they didn't want. So men deserve that same when it impacts that man's life just as much, his livelihood, and it's destroyed men. They absolutely deserve a say. If they don't want that kid, they should be able to walk away. The same and abandon their financial responsibility. The same way women do when they have abortions. Or the same way women do when they put a child up for adoption. It's as simple as that. So to me personally, people like to make the moral argument, oh, men are just going to be reckless with it. I don't care. I don't care if a man has 1,000 financial abortions. You know why? Because that means there were 1,000 women that chose to get pregnant by him. And that's their choice. And even if 1,000 women made that mistake, that's not his problem. He deserves his choice still. Just like a woman could get pregnant by 1,000 different men and have 1,000 different abortions if she wanted to. Same thing to me.
So let me ask you this, brother Ji. When did you come to this conclusion? I mean, did you just wake up one day and say, you know what, we should be able to abort financially? I mean, was it due to what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've lived through, people you know? I
Okay.
mean, what brought you to this point?
So the origin story. So this is what drew me to the Black manosphere in general. I've always been a personally, I've always said these laws aren't fair. You can look out and see laws are not fair. And I've always been the person that if you tell me you want equality, I'm looking at the actions behind it. And I'm like, this isn't equal. The world, you can tell. I don't know if you've seen these videos, they do social experiments where a woman will beat up a man. Okay, nobody bats an eye. Now, as soon as the man raises a hand to protect himself, he gets swarmed by all these people. And I'm like, what in the world is equal or fair about this? I've always been a fair person, call it down the middle, straight up equality on both sides under the law. I've always wanted that. But I've always seen men get the short end of the stick in society. And I sat back and I watched women have kids that they could not afford be called heroes for struggling to raise these kids, and the man get drugged because he's not around because he didn't want her. She was a jump of the morning relationship or something like that. And I thought to myself, how are they finding any praise for this woman when she had these children in such a broken situation? So all my life, I've seen I've looked beneath the underneath. I looked underneath the underneath to see what was really going on. Even growing up in church, like most folks grew up, like most Black folks grew up in church and all that, I would question the Bible. Like, look, it's a lot of stuff going on in here. what is this about? I would always ask, I would question things. And, I got in trouble in Sunday school a couple times because, you're not supposed to ask those types of questions. But I've always had that type of personality. I've always been that type of person. That's why I don't subscribe to any religion, believe in any higher powers, any all that. To me, it doesn't make any sense. And to me, if we're going to say that the law is fair, it has to be fair on both sides. Otherwise, we just need to say that the law is not fair. We just need to call things what they are. And if we're going to say, if we're okay with it not being fair, then they need to say that. And that's just where it comes from. That's just the type of person I've always been.
Well, we as black men, we can already assume that women are going to have a problem with this. But do you find it difficult when dealing with other brothers? And as far as the brothers that are in your circle of influence, whether it be online or offline, are you getting resistance from the brothers? I mean, the resistance from the women is expected, but are you getting resistance from the brothers?
Yes, and this is what's most disturbing to me. I believe that the black manosphere, quote unquote, I believe it's going to grow. I believe this is a powerful form of media for black men. We discuss our issues. We discuss, things relevant to us, and it's controlled and centered around black men. I have gotten so much pushback from black men in this space about this. And that's what I brought up earlier. Men innately, for some reason, I guess it's been ingrained in us to, men just suck it up. You take it on the chin and keep going. You suffer, or you just be stoic about it and just keep it moving. But no, it's a lot of men that push back against this and fight on behalf of women for this, as if women don't have this right. And it always baffles me how men can so vehemently go against their interests. To me, it's like I picture like a slave on the plantation fighting to stay on the plantation. That's what pops into my mind. Every time a man pushes back and says no, men shouldn't have financial abortion. I'm like, what are you saying? Why are you going against your interests? But it's been a lot of men. It's been a lot of men in the space that push back against it. And when I speak with people about it in real life, because I do have these conversations in real life with people, they push back. Now, with the men, though, when I talk them down, because, we had a conversation. When I talk to them for a while, their logic and their reason will kick in and they will admit, okay, yeah, something needs to be done. This is unfair. Even if they side with me, they will acknowledge that it's unfair how it is. Most of them. But yeah, I get a lot of pushback from men, and it disturbs me, honestly.
Well, me, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a few moments. And I can kind of see where brothers are coming from, especially brothers who have children. Brothers who have children, their kids already say 8, 9, 10. They've been paying into the child support system for a decade. And you come to them with this petition that says, hey, look, I got this petition. And, if it turns into law, brothers are going to be free to financially abort. So if you have a brother who already has a child and he's went through the baby mama drama and he's went through the DNA test and, maybe she had got a few other folks tested before she found out he was the pappy. You know all the scenarios when we're dealing with these old mamas. So a brother in that position, I can kind of understand why he would be somewhat reluctant, because he would be thinking, I know me, if I was in that position, I would be thinking, okay, you want me to sign this petition so you and other brothers get to skate. And meanwhile, I have 10 years into this system. I have 10 years of the baby mama drama. I have 10 years of, all the shit that entails.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I say to that. That's the crab in the bucket mentality. Think about, and since we're black, I'm going to use situations unique to us. Think about if slaves in that plantation said, you know what? If I fought for this freedom, it's going to be other people that come after me that didn't have to take all the lashes and disrespect and abuse that I took. So I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to try to make anything better because I don't want anybody else after me to benefit from it. That's a very selfish mindset. Now, I understand that it hurts knowing that you'll pave the way for somebody else and you have to suffer. They say, the trailblazer, you can tell who blazed the trail by how many arrows he has in his back. But that is just the cost of fixing something that you perceive to be broken. It's always the person that has to bust through the wall. He's going to take the most damage. Those people. So the people starting out, we're not going to see the most benefit. We're going to go through the most trouble. But guess what? It's going to be better for those that come after us. Our children won't have to go through it. Other men, period, because this isn't even a racial thing, but other men, period, won't have to go through what we went through. Think about if all the people that created technology, they said, you know what? I'm not in this airplane. I'm not inventing this telephone. I'm not inventing these things that are going to make life better for people that came out. I had to suffer. Y'all suffer too. We would never progress. So yes, the people initially are not going to get the most benefit. Just like when you plant a garden, the people that start the garden, it takes time. It takes time when you plant a seed, but you have to have the mindset that somebody that I care about will be able, or somebody that was just like me, will be spared the suffering that I had to go through. And that's just the mindset you have to have about it.
Yeah, well, me personally, I agree. I mean, because I went through it too. I mean, all my kids are grown. My youngest kid is 22. So, I went through it a long time ago. All right. I went through it a long time ago. You go through the nonsense with your baby mama and all this kind of nonsense and, custody, care, control, support. You go through all that kind of nonsense. So I agree with you. All right. I agree with your petition. I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be tough to make its way through legislation, but I don't think it is impossible. Okay, I don't believe it's impossible. But what I do believe is that I don't think that you're going to get some resistance from men. Of course, you're going to get some resistance from men because just like we just talked about a few moments ago, they're going to be like, hey, screw that. I got 10 years in this shit. I got 15 years invested in this child support shit. And y'all going to get the skate. You're going to get that. But what I think is going to happen, because we're not just talking about our sons, I could see where, something like this makes its way through the channels of legislation and, to the state house and eventually on the governor's desk, right? It works for the sons. But what about our daughters? Because that's a different dynamic. Do we now tell our daughters? Well, we would have to. We would have to say, hey, look, girl, you got to be careful out there because that law done passed with that financial abortion. So now we are in a position where, we have to change the whole dynamic when it comes to our daughters because they are going to encounter this law too. They're going to encounter it too. And they're going to have dudes who have that financial abortion law on their side when it passes. So now fathers are put in a position now, those of us who are fathers, we're put in a position now where we have to tell our daughters, look, hey, they got this financial abortion shit going on. So You got to be careful out there. What's your take on that?
My take on that is same as it ever was. We live in a day and age, okay, where women are rewarded for their responsibility. Okay. The out of wedlock birth rate in the Black community is over 70%. So this is already an issue. For the daughters, they should be not having children for anyone except their husband. Let me say that again. Some people are slow. You should be teaching your daughters not to even be pregnant if she's not married. Why is she even pregnant if she's not married? I didn't say having sex. I didn't say being promiscuous. Why is she allowing herself to be impregnated by somebody that's not her husband? Why? And if you're not teaching your daughters, see, this will only be a problem for whores. Let me just make it clear. All right. I don't know anybody of worth, okay, that's teaching their daughter to just be pregnant by anybody. Why would you even have to worry about that? Why would a woman have to fear financial abortion, right? To have it that it doesn't hurt her. If she has found herself a husband, they've already talked about to start a family or whatever. Why that's not a concern for her. Period. So what we have now is a culture. Like I said, in my opinion, there's no morality left. Not in America. No, it's over with. So what we have now is a culture that promotes whoredom, which I'm fine with. What it is, what it is. But when you're a whore, you get what comes with being a whore, which is bastards. So unless she's a whore, she doesn't have to worry about having bastards. Because guess what? A woman is in full control over whether or not she gets pregnant before she's married. So it does not hurt the women at all. Not the women that are decent women anyway. It would only quote unquote hurt whores.
So, do you fear being accused of being the cooch police? Do you fear being called a dude with a genocidal mind state? I mean, do you fear any of this? Because if this thing goes through, you know that you are going to be, well, you are already the architect of this. So do you fear the reprisals that will come your way once it is passed?
Mm-hmm.
Do you fear that?
No. And here's why. This as this grows in popularity and it begins, gaining legs and going to the next level, I would be branded all types of things. I don't fear it because this mission, honestly, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than any one person. This is a game changer for men. It just is. This is a game changer for men. I don't care what the little arrows and slings are going to say to me, especially if you didn't even have the decency to give, your children a father or a stable home, if you didn't have the decency to vote against this evil stuff that's happening, man, if you don't care about that, I don't care about your opinion. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. And all the naysayers, because no matter what you do, it's going to be naysayers, period. Even Jesus was crucified for those of you that, love him so much. So it is what it is.
So, well, let's get into the nuances of it and and some of the specifics of it. Does does your petition allot for time limits? Like, you can't apply for a financial abortion when the kid is 5, right? So there will be some type of stipulations on said petition, correct?
Right. Now, my petition that I set out, I was just the main goal is to get that conversation going and get it headed in that direction. We all know once it hits legislation, then yeah, we're going to get into those fine details. Now, this is what I personally, in my opinion, would like it to look like. Like I've said, it's going to look differently for men simply because men don't find out about the child until, in some cases, years later. I'm gonna use a popular instance that some people on here may be familiar with. There's a popular YouTuber named Tommy Sotomayor, and he speaks openly about his second daughter that popped up. And I appreciate him about for being so transparent with his life. But he speaks about his second daughter popped up, and she was, well, I don't remember how old she was. I think she was like 7 or 8, but she was older. Okay, so in a situation like that, once he was made aware, he didn't know about it for years. So once he was made aware, he would then be under, if I had my way, financial abortion for men. He would then be asked, okay, hey, she's naming you now. We just now found out it was you. She had this other man on the hook all this time. That's another travesty in and of itself. But he would then be presented with, does he want to have a financial abortion or does he want to be a part of the child's life? And if he chose to be a part of the child's life, he wouldn't be liable for any money prior to him finding out, period. So it would be whenever the man is made aware. And we have to say, we can't put a specific time limit on it for men because, like that example I just gave, men don't always find out when the woman knows for various reasons. But yes, there would be some structure to it. So I would see it whenever the man finds out, he will be given, once he's alerted, he will be given, I'd say give him 3 months because that's the general time frame a woman has to decide, you know, to keep it or not. Usually within the first 3 months. So I would give the man 3 months from when he's made aware, and from there he can choose.
Well, I'm a true believer, and you can correct me because this is your petition. I believe that your petition would have more teeth if it was centered around the time before the pregnancy as opposed to after or during even. I think your petition would have more teeth if it was focused on, you and her sitting down and you got this piece of paper and you say, hey, look, girl, we having sex, we knocking boots up in here, we screwing. Before all this
Mm.
happened, before you get knocked up, we need to fill out this paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like it would have more teeth before the pregnancy because I mean y'all are both in agreement to it. She signs the form and she says, hey, look, if I happen to get pregnant, you have the option to opt out, as opposed to afterwards, after she's already pregnant and you now want to kind of, disembark from it. I think that would be a higher hill to hop as opposed to y'all going ahead, signing this thing, having her sign on the dotted line before before she gets pregnant. And then afterwards, if she decides to have the baby after getting pregnant and she tries to come after you, you got her signature on that dotted line. So what's your take on that? What do you think about that?
I understand what you're saying, and it makes sense what you're saying, but here's why I disagree. This isn't about anything prior, okay? This isn't about anything pre conception. This is about post. This is about afterward. Guess what? A woman can't sign a piece of paper. I mean, a woman can't have a man sign a piece of paper for her to get permission for her abortions. She just has the right. Men deserve the right. Now, we're not signing a piece of paper. This is the right is completely independent of the other party. That's the point by design. I mean, you don't have to tell her anything. She don't have to know. She doesn't have to be informed. She doesn't have to agree. This right, it is about the person having the autonomy to control their situation, their part in it, after the fact, post conception. That woman goes into an abortion clinic. She does not have to have her field trip permission slip signed by that man, period. They do not care if he consents. They do not care if she has a piece of paper saying that he was okay with it before they had sex in the event she came. No, I'm not about putting any limitations on the man. Period. We deserve carte blanche, decision making ability, just like they do. And that is something that I won't budge on because of the principle of it. We're not playing those games. They can do it. They don't need any permission. Men should be able to do it without any permission from the other party as well. Period. Can't budge on that.
So this isn't so much about law. This is about rights. This is about rights, right? Not so much about law. Of course, you would need a law for the right, but this is more about the rights that you have as a man, as opposed to the law, right? Am I hearing this correctly? It's about rights.
Well, the rights and the law, I mean, they go hand in hand. But yeah, this is about men's rights. Men don't have men don't have reproductive rights. So this is about men's rights. Men deserve the right to choose when they become parents after the fact, just like women have as well. Men should not be limited in any way. Shouldn't be limited in any way. And then that will be fair on both sides because both parties now have the ability to do so. Now, abortion is a law. It's a matter of legality. So we would need the law in order to enforce our rights. But yes, this is about rights and men's rights under the law. So yeah, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, and I agree. I agree with the premise because, I mean, let's be honest here, folks. I mean, a woman can get pregnant and don't even have to tell you anything. She can get pregnant. She can get that baby aborted without telling you anything. She can have that baby, give it to her mama, to her grandmama. She can leave that baby on the front step of the fire department, or put it in one of those slide-in drawers at the hospital, or leave it at the YMCA. She can hop on a plane, fly to Europe and give it to a European couple and come back and nothing said. I mean, that part, I mean, I'm totally on board because I know that women can, when it comes to women getting pregnant, they can do whatever they want to do. They don't even have to tell you they're pregnant. They can just go and get the kid aborted, and you'll be none the wiser, whether you want to be a father or not. Yeah. And whether you want, see, that's
and I'm actually for that.
See, that's the thing.
I'm not about taking away that right, though.
Yeah, you can't force her to be a mother, but she can force you to be a father. She can force you to be a father. You can't force her to be a mother, because even if you get her pregnant, right? Y'all screwing, she gets pregnant, and you say, "Hey, girl, I want this baby. I want a son. I want a daughter." You know, you can say that, and right after you say that, she can leave the next morning and get an abortion. Or she can have that baby and leave it on the front step of the fire department. So, you know, all of that is in play. I guess that's why I can see your point of view. That is why I can say, okay, this should be this way. And men should have more rights, because I'm a true believer that men should be fathers not only on their own timeline, they should be a father on purpose. I don't think a woman should just be able to say, you're going to be a father, when the man has not either married her, signed on to being a father, especially a dude who she knows didn't want a baby. Now, people will say, of course, well, you should have wore rubber. You should have did this before you stuck your dick in her. And, people are going to say that kind of shit. But I'm a true believer that a man should be a father on purpose. That's just my belief. But let me ask you this. What if you are married? What if you've been with your wife or your common law wife, or whatever commitment y'all got going on, and she gets pregnant and you still don't want the kid? Does your petition apply in that situation?
Well, I'm gonna answer your question, even though it's unpopular to do so, with a question. Can a married woman get an abortion, Brother X?
Absolutely, she can. She could
So
not
then
tell her
absolutely a man
husband
can.
she's pregnant. She could. He don't have to tell her husband she's even pregnant. She finds out she's
There's the
pregnant
answer.
and bounce to the clinic. I mean, she doesn't have to tell you anything. And see, that's the rub. Now, I know people will say, because I probably would have said it, 20 years ago. People will say, well, you shouldn't be able to do this because, there's enough, kids without fathers. You shouldn't be able to do this because it's going to hurt the kid. It's going to hurt Black society. You'll be creating more single mamas. You'll be creating more poverty and all the things that come, that are directly related to single mamahood and
I have
poverty
to,
and
I have
everything
to
else.
speak to that.
Go ahead.
I have to speak to that because therein lies a large part of the issue. They keep saying you are putting all the onus on the man. In my opinion, that's very sexist. It's very patriarchal. From an olden time, we don't live in the days of old. People keep trying to pull pieces of the old world, as I like to call it, and the rules they're in, and apply it today, knowing damn well you couldn't do in the old world what happens. See, they keep trying to take what they favor or what they find favorable from the old world and apply it today. I'm like, no, it all needs to go. All this responsibility, these roles that you're trying to push on the people, no, they don't exist anymore. They don't. All we have is the law, what's legal and what's illegal. Because if it was about morality, you would have had a husband in the first place. Don't come speaking to me about morality. If it was about right or wrong, you wouldn't have laid down until you found a man worth reproducing with. You certainly in 2020 wouldn't allow him to get you pregnant. See, I don't want to hear it. I don't care about any of that moral argument garbage because it's lies. If that were the case, as soon as you had a child, you would devote every waking minute to that child. You wouldn't even have a social media because you would be so devoted to trying to give that child a better life and trying to correct the mistakes you made. No, that doesn't happen. Black children perform the worst out of all children in schools, statistically. So I don't want to hear about how much you care about these kids. They don't. And they keep trying to make it as if women are equal to men. I don't know if that's new information. That's what they fought for. Let them have it. So for every man that walked away, there's a woman that chose to have that child in a broken situation. She chose that. That's her right. So that's on her. She wanted it. She chose it. Again, some people didn't hear. She chose to lay down with that man and bear his children. She chose that. So that's what she wanted. So I can't hear any arguments about morality or men should this, men should that. No, no, no. The time for gender roles is gone. There's infinite genders now. I don't want to hear any argument tied to morality. It doesn't exist. All we have is legal and illegal, and the law is unfair because if one side can do it, the other side needs to be able to do it as well. And I'm not even fighting to take away their ability to do what they do. I don't care. Men just need to have the same ability. That's all I'm saying. And that's fair.
Yeah, man, you're not going to get any argument from me when it comes to, these old mamas. I mean, because I'm Mr. These old mamas are horrible. So you know, you're not going to get any argument from me there. But what I can say is the reason why I brought that up is because what people are going to say, all right? And not that you care, but this is what people are going to say, especially about us black men. They're going to say, "Oh, this is just something for you guys to be deadbeats. This is just something for you
Mm-hmm.
guys to skate from child support." Because even if this goes through, brother J.I., there are some women who are still going to decide to have the baby. Now, once they've had the baby, you have implemented your ability to have a financial abortion. You've implemented that. So, what does that mean? That means that this child is now without a father because, see, you've implemented your financial abortion, right? She's had the baby. That means, I guess, you would be signing over not just you're not just getting rid of your financial obligation to the child. That means you're getting rid of all obligations to the child, meaning that your mother, your father, your grandmother, your whoever is also severed from that child because you are, right?
Yep. Yep. It's as if she got a sperm donor.
Okay. So this is what we're going to have. People are going to say that brothers are out here screwing women. They're implementing their financial abortion. These women are still having these babies, and it's legal now for them to abandon them. That's what they're going to say, right? You do realize that, right?
Right.
So,
Yep.
so
That's what they're going to say.
yeah. That being said, how do you defend? Because let's be honest, single motherhood has a tendency to lead to poverty, right? Poverty has a tendency to, when you got a lot of poverty around, more than likely you got a lot of crime around. Not that I'm saying poverty is an excuse for crime, but it is damn near the motherhood of crime in most cases. So how do you defend people coming at you saying this is what you're starting? This is what you're doing. You're making this happen. You're making it so that these women are going to be baby mamas. You're making it so these women are going to live in poverty. You're making it so these kids are now fatherless, and not just fatherless, they're losing their paternal grandparents, aunts, uncles, all that kind of crap. So how do you defend from that? How do you defend yourself being accused of all of that stuff?
Simply, the woman made that choice. Okay. She chose. See, everybody keeps pointing at the men. Men don't have children. Women do. The woman chose to have that child. So that means she wanted it. So since she chose to have it, okay, since she chose to have it, I will tell society they need to respect her choice Okay, she's a woman. Respect her choice, respect her body, and let her raise it.
Well, let me put up
Period.
an extreme let me put up an extreme example for you, right? And we'll use you, being
Mm-hmm.
that you're the architect of said document. Say
Okay.
your law has passed, right? It's made its way through the state house and the legislator and the governor has stamped it. So now it's law. You get a woman
Okay.
pregnant. You implement your financial abortion. She still wants to have the baby. She has it. Now, you have financially aborted, so you're breaking all ties with the baby. Do you now have a problem if your mom, your dad, your aunt, your grandmama, your grandfather want to be in this child's life knowing that it's yours? Do you have a problem with that, being that you financially aborted?
Yes. If my side of the family still want to interact with them, yeah, I would tell them that I want you all to have nothing to do with it as well. But if they so chose, then that's what they so choose to do. I personally wouldn't wouldn't like it, but if they chose to, then they choose to. They're not going to have any rights to it, but if, if they were allowed to babysit or do whatever, then I couldn't stop it. I wouldn't have any parts with it.
Hmm. So you would have the son or the daughter, and your parents, or because you know how our parents and our grandparents are. Oh, I want to see the baby. You know how that go down, right? You do know how that's gonna go down.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you separated from the child, which you had the right to do, hypothetically, you've had the right to separate from the child. You're not obligated to the kid. Don't have to give the kid any money. Don't have to give the mammy any money. But your mom wants to be involved with the baby. Your dad, your sister, your aunt, your grandmom. So
Mm-hmm.
how would that play out if you said the hell with the kid? Basically, that's what you said. You said the hell with the kid. But your mom
Yes.
wants to see the baby. She knows it's yours. Your dad, your sister, your grandfather or somebody, they want to see the baby. So now what? Now what?
Well, if my mom and dad if my mom and dad wanted to see the baby, even after whatever, I'll make it clear to them. I'll be like, listen, I wanted nothing to do with this. This is whatever. If you don't do this in no way, shape, form, or fashion, will I be involved? It's not going to be around me. I'm not going to be around it. This is completely cut off from me. And in no way, shape, form, or fashion would I have anything to do with it.
Well, wouldn't that be kind of tough though? I mean, especially
Not for
if,
me.
but wouldn't it be tough? All right. Now I know we're speaking in hypotheticals here, but this can realistically happen, right? It would be kind of tough
Mm-hmm.
because say, fine, say she's a broke ass fucking girl and she has no money. And, you know, uh, your mom and your dad and grandma and everybody else, they're like, that's, one of our kinfolk, which it would be biologically, it would be one of their kinfolk, even though
Mm-hmm.
you or whatever brother has cut ties with this baby, that baby is their kinfolk.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to help the girl. They want to help the baby. So do you stop going to grandma's house when the baby's there? Do you? I mean, how that's what I'm trying to get at. The legality part of it, I get it. I get that part of it. But how do you get around? How do you get around the humanity part of it? Because I don't think it would be that cut and dry where, it would be cut and dry for you because you've implemented, your you've aborted financially. So it's cut and dry for you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You've exercised it. You done with it. But now grandma wants the baby to spend a week at her house. Grandma wants the kid to be at her crib. Your mom, your dad wants the kid to be at their crib. You can't stop them, right? There's no way to stop them. So how do you, especially if the girl's going along with it, if she's going along with it and say, yeah, the kid can come, see y'all, see his grandmother, grandfather, all that kind of stuff, which she probably will do, okay, just to fucking get at you. You know how that works too. So the kid is
Mm-hmm.
eventually an infant, and then the kid is 5 and 10 and 12, and he over there at your mom and your dad house looking just like you. Do you stop coming to mom and dad's house?
Yeah, I absolutely would. Let them know, no more game nights, no more family night, no. Because I have made a decision. And if you have chosen to undermine my decision, okay, after I've made it, then that is in its own way a betrayal. And I wouldn't be a part of it. I wouldn't be coerced. And I'm sure that you could probably find cases, wouldn't be surprised if you Googled it, of, sperm donors who, what you said, similar's happened. Their family found out and then they decided to be in the kid's life or whatever. I mean, yeah, weird one-off stuff like that would happen, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. And you can't stop it from happening. I couldn't stop what they do, but I would have no part of
Hmm. So basically, once you cut off, that's it. Everybody from your side of the family, they are expected to not have anything to do with the kid either, right? They're expected to have nothing to do with the kid
it. Yeah, I
because
wouldn't have even told them. Yeah,
oh,
but if she
okay.
went around my back and told them, like how you're saying, because like women would do that, okay, you want to do that, well, I'm gonna tell your parents about it, because just like you said, they know that grandkids, the grandparent could be, more receptive anyway. So if she went around my back and told them, then yeah, I
Mhm.
just have to let them know, you know, I don't want you having anything to do with it because I've already cut it off, I already severed it, and you're not gonna have any rights to it because I've already severed all that. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, because grandbabies are your kryptonite, man. I know I have some. I mean, shit. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't allowed to be around them and take them and spend money on them and fill their bellies full of junk and then give them back to their parents, bouncing off the goddamn walls. That's a part of my life. I mean, that's a part of my life. I couldn't imagine if like my son, oh pop, I don't want to deal with the baby. I don't want you dealing with it. I mean, I would have an issue with that, speaking as a grandfather, not to get all anecdotal about it, but, as a grandfather, I mean, your grandkids, when you're a grandparent, man, it's something about your grandkids, man. That's your damn kryptonite. So it's like, if my son come to me and, oh, Pop, I don't want you to have anything to do, with the babies anymore, I would be pissed the hell off. I'd be like, wait a goddamn minute, man. What you talking about up in here? So that's kind of where I'm coming from, because I'm thinking about myself and I'm thinking about how I was with my grandparents. And I mean, my grandparents would have had a fit if my old man said they couldn't see me. I mean, that's where I'm coming from, brother Ji. But
And I get that. That's a valid. It's a very valid point, and of course, would happen in some instances. But to be fair, you're speaking from a point of you already have that relationship with them.
yeah, yeah,
If you
yeah,
never knew them, it wouldn't be as difficult if you had never known them and built that attachment. But what you're saying actually happened, and that's just, hey, no system is nothing's perfect. There's just gonna be things that happen. But the
yeah.
important part is, even if that were to happen, even if they did go behind my back and do it, whatever, I still had the choice to make for myself. and I wasn't financially ruined or put on the hook when I didn't want to be, which is the main point.
Yeah, I get it, man, and I understand your point of view. I understand why you're doing it, and I get it. You know, I get it, and I do think that men, we do need a few, you know, maybe more than a few rights when it comes to uh fatherhood and you know all this kind of stuff. I think the playing field should be leveled, you know, somewhat, because it's been very uneven for a very long time. I plan on sticking with this thing, man, and following up on it. I will be checking in with you from time to time to see where it goes, because this interests me, you know, on many different levels, man. I'm very interested in it, and I want to see where it goes. I want to see how far it gets. I want to see how far this gets, and I would like to see what society, especially black society, looks like with something like this in place. Um, I think it would change. I think it would change the behavior of many men, but I think it would change the behavior of many women as well. I think women would have to be a little more conscientious about, you know, their bodies and their reproductive system, and you know, how they're laying down. I think they would be a little more heavily invested in birth control and all that kind of stuff if something like this was to go ahead and become law and have some real teeth to it and give men some rights. I do think that this would be one thing that would kind of curb, you know, it would kind of curb the way many women are. But I'm also a believer of, on the other side of that, I'm also somebody who is a big proponent of men getting their children. You know, I'm a big proponent of that. I believe that men should be taking control of the children. I think that that is one thing that is absolutely positively going to fix black society. Um, we have proven it as a people that we are a society of single parenthood. We've proven it. We have proven it. Fine. If we're going to be a people of single parenthood, I think it's time for the single parent to change. Now, I know those of you raised by your black ass mama disagree, because even though she treated you like shit, starved you, threw you down the stairs and kicked you in the ribs and locked you in the closet, you still think she's a deity. I get it. I get it. But it is a proven fact. It is a proven fact that men do better when they raise the children. Children do better when they have access to their fathers. Percentage wise, single fathers do way better than single mothers. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. So I am also a person of that mind. But this all plays into it, because if men
Yes, it does.
are able to, yes, it all plays into it, because if men are able to exercise more of their rights, I think men will have a lot more control, not just over parenting, but um birth and conception as well. Because the woman would have to, she would have to have the man's permission to a degree to even get pregnant, if you can understand what I'm saying. If that financial abortion is
Mhm.
written in black and white, even though she is the woman, she would have to kind of get your permission to get pregnant, because there is the chance of you implementing your financial abortion option. if you can understand, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense what I just said, y'all?
Exactly.
So men
Yeah, I
would
understand.
have,
That's exactly.
men would have a lot more control. And who knows? We may see, you know, we may see a change in how black society is, because men would have more rights, which would also lead to men having more control. They would have more parenting rights. And when men have more parenting rights, children just have a tendency to do better, especially black children. That's just a fact, man. You know, when men have more choices and men have more control over parental rights, when men have more parental rights and more parental control, children just have a tendency to do better. Y'all can sit there and argue it and say, oh, X, I know somebody who was raised by a single mom and became an astronaut. Good. There's like 40 some odd million of us. You know one person. Name me 20 of them. And I might go along with you. All right, I might just go along, because we all know that when a man raises children, they're less likely to be on drugs. They're less likely to be sexually promiscuous. They're less likely to become freaking teen parents themselves. They have a tendency to do better in school. They have a tendency to go up to college. They have a tendency to make better decisions with their own relationship choices. All of that, I can go on and on and on about it all night. Don't make me do it, folks. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. All right. Don't make me do it. But once again, brother J.I., I appreciate you coming through. My brother, you gave some clarity to me. And like I said, man, T.P.O.T, we will be following this because it's interesting. You know, I want to see where this goes, brother. So make sure you keep me up to date on it. And also feel free, any of you that are out there, because J.I. is an official member of the league. So if you feel the need to challenge brother J.I., this is the place to do it, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know. All right. All right. So if you want to square off, let me ask brother J.I. before I let him go. Brother J.I., what about this would you be willing to debate? What about it would you be willing to debate someone on?
Only if they believe that men should not have it. If they want to debate, should men have the right to financial abortion? I say they should, obviously. If they say they should not, I will debate that. All the rest of it is just semantics. The rest of it is, oh, I don't like the way your petition's worded. It should be worded. That's a different argument. I'm only willing to debate on this topic. I'm only willing to debate if you believe, should they have it, yes or no. If you believe they shouldn't, because some people are against it, then I'll debate somebody on that. But not that you don't like my petition, you don't like the way it's worded. I don't care about any of
that. Okay. We got a question from I don't know if you want to take some questions or not, brother J.I.
Oh yeah,
don't know what you look like
on time.
All right, brother O'Shea Linux with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. He says, J.I., what incentive do you have or punishment to make women or the state have to make this law?
That's a very good question. Men will have to rally together. That's why I have these conversations. And that's why I get the message out whenever I can. Because it all starts with a conversation. Everything starts with a conversation. And in this day and age, we know through social media and platforms like the good brother T.P.O.T, we can reach more people than we even know. Because there's people that come back and listen to these streams that we never even know about. They'll never comment in the chat. They'll never say anything, but they listen. And so if enough men get together, okay, and we vote, we can push this and make this law. We're going to have to work together, men. But if we work together, then we can bring a lot of heat down with the men's vote. And if it comes down to it, men can forcibly change the laws. So that's the punishment or the incentive that men have. It will take a collective of men. But just like anything else in history, once a group of people has been felt that they've been oppressed or wrongly done, when they get together and rally together and they decide enough is enough, oh, they can make some things happen. We've seen it all throughout history, all across the world. But men have to be willing to fight for it. I think we should fight first politically with our vote. And if that doesn't work, then we gotta go the other way with it. But that's just what it is. Men are gonna have to work together.
All right. I hope that answered your question, brother O'Shea Linux. And oh shit, good look on that super chat, brother J. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. You say thanks for having me and helping me get the word out. I really appreciate the exposure and you promoting it. Thanks to all who signed and shared. Absolutely, my brother. You know, this is a platform where I let pretty much anybody come up, man, and speak their piece. That's what we do here. And you know, I hope to have you back, man. You know, hopefully somebody will hit me up and say, I want to challenge that goddamn JI about this damn financial abortion shit. That's what
I
I'm hoping.
really wanted to be a woman. I will say this. Um I don't know if you know the sister Raw B, privileged. She's in BMT's camp. Let's talk BMT about her. She said that she was against it and would be willing to debate me on it.
Okay.
She has said that.
Okay.
So I don't know. But yeah, if anybody is against this point, yeah, we can debate that.
Okay. That'll work. You know, get you up here on the Hours of Power debates. You know what it is, man. Super Mike, brother Super
Yeah, add me
Mike
to the intro, man.
with the $5. Oh, well, I got my damn it wasn't a debate, so you know this is DXL, so you know DXL is different. You know what I'm saying? DXL is a little different. But we got a super chat from brother Super Mike, $5 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. He says, what are the consequences on the population?
I'm not a person that believes that there's ever will be. I mean, outside of like extenuating circumstances like natural disasters or a meteor hitting Earth or something crazy, there won't be any threats to the population. People will always be having sex and having kids. That's not going to stop, no matter what laws in place. That's not going to stop.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, that's true.
That will never stop. So the population, if he's talking about like the numbers of the population, that's never going to be an issue or a concern ever.
Yeah, I agree.
If
I
that's what
mean,
he
I
meant.
don't even indulge in those. Oh, we're going to be wiped out. We're going to be bred out of extinction nonsense. I mean, ain't none of us that's in here right
Yeah.
now going to live to see that goddamn day. That doesn't make any sense. Do you want me to open this up? Because I was going to close out, but my man Perfect Black is in the audience, and I guess he wants to come up. So I guess we can rock out for a little while. We can rock if it's up to you to always leave it up to my guests. It's up to you, man.
Yeah, I can hang till 11:30. I got 15 more minutes. We're gonna let
Okay.
whoever on.
Okay, we can rock out. I will be putting the link into the chat, folks. And we'll rock out for a little
Yeah,
while
all y'all who hate
longer.
me or just wanna say something bad against it, I got 15 more minutes for you to come up here and just get it off. Those of you that don't want to necessarily debate it, but you just want to push back, just come get it off. And let me say this about the law. Listen, people, for those of you that keep saying this is impossible, first off, let me explain what the law is. The law is nothing more than what a group of people decides is acceptable in a society. Let me say that one more time. It's only what a group of people decides what is acceptable in a society. There are states right now that are legally selling weed, making a profit. There are men right now sitting in prison from weed. We had prohibition back in the day. Alcohol used to be illegal. They realized it was too off the chain. They couldn't keep it illegal, and now it's legal. There is legal and illegal is not the same as right and wrong. Okay, it was once legal for you to be enslaved. Now it's not. So the law has nothing to do with what is morally right or just. So anything can be made law.
All right. We've been joined by brother O'Shea Linux and my brother Perfect Black. What's good with it, brothers?
Hey, what's going on, brother X? What's going on, JR?
What's going on?
Brother O'Shea Linux, you were up here first. What you got for me, brother? I guess nothing. Brother Perfect Black, what you got for me, man?
Well, I just want to say, man, that I support this brother here in his petition I signed and I gave him my coinage, and I'm probably going to be supporting with the coinage some more, later on, because I think this is a righteous cause. Because
hold on a second. If you're not talking, mute yourself, man. If you're not talking, mute yourself, please, sirs. Go ahead, brother Perfect Black.
Yeah, because I think it's a righteous cause because it goes to equality. Look, I'm a married man. I'm a married man to a beautiful South African woman, and she's pregnant. So I'm not coming from this, from an angered or a bitter perspective, but I'm not going to say that I haven't been scarred, or I'm not going to say that I don't have my battle scars, from this whole thing, because I can tell you I'm going through a battle right now. My daughter's in the next room. But I definitely believe if a woman can be able to, if she can just abort a child without the man's, without the father's permission, without even his knowledge, and then have a child even without his, all the way up to without his knowledge, then turn around years later and get back child support, no less, then yeah, I think a man should have some say into whether or not if he wants to financially abort a child that he never wanted in the first place. I think the man's wishes should not stop at the at conception. It just shouldn't. And if society want to say, well, we just don't want a whole bunch of women running around here with a whole bunch of kids and all that, then the society needs to do a better job at raising these girls to be better wives, or to be wives at all, as opposed to just wanting to raise a whole bunch of women to be strong and independent. Period. So I support it.
All right, brother O'Shea Linux, you back with us or what?
Yeah, I'm back with you. I didn't realize my mic was muted. All right, now here's the deal. Let me just lay it out for you. I actually agree with the sentiment of it. But see, I agree with it for a different purpose. See, I'm against abortion. That's why I agree with it. And I've already stated, look, I put this very thing on my Facebook page a few months ago. But now, that's what leads me to ask this other question. If men are so bothered by this whole thing, then why don't you look at, and I'm going to be a little hard on, then why don't more men, why haven't thousands, by the tens of thousands, come out to sign this petition? And what are you doing, or what are you not doing to actually make something like this really be put in the eyesight of more men?
That's an easy question. No, that's not too hard to understand why it is that that his petition really hasn't, at least not yet, caught like wildfire, at least not yet. It's because again you're talking. Forget about the women. The men are conditioned to follow the women and to follow the needs and aspirations and the wants of the women. So when something like this come out, men, but automatically, their default position is going to want to protect, as T.P.O.T would say, these old mamas. So you're not only fighting against the current law, you're fighting against the conditioning of men. So that's why.
Look, see, I'm gonna have to push back against that too now, because you got too many men out here complaining about this situation for them not to have went and actually signed it. You got too many of them. You got
again that be explained by conditioning as well.
Well, evidently, guess what? Well, look, they're not so conditioned not to complain about it. So that kind of throw that argument out the door. Because if they that
don't throw the argument out the door. It actually explains it.
If they're that conditioned, then they won't be out here complaining about it.
I think it's going to get some traction.
Slaves complaining on the plantation. There were slaves that would complain about the work, but when somebody mentioned, "Well, hey, let's plan something to get up out of it," no, this is just how it is. This is just how it always been. See, that conditioning is powerful, like what the brother just told you. It runs deep, and even if somebody is hurt or pained by something, when presented with something different, if that's all they've known is one way, even though it hurts them, a lot of people at first will be hesitant to go towards it. There were people that refused to run in slavery because that's all they knew. When you've been conditioned so long to believe that something's right, no matter how abominable it may be or unfair, then you don't have the will to fight against it. It's why we revere people that stand up to tyrants, because it's a difficult thing that goes against the grain. But once someone does, they incite and inspire, and then the people slowly begin to follow afterwards. But initially, it is hard to get started.
It's always going to be hard. It's the condition is just like that analogy with how elephants are trained from babies. When elephants are trained when baby, they always have one of their legs always attached to a rope or a chain or whatnot that's sticked into the ground. Where when they're babies, they can't get out of it. They just can't. But when they get to be adult elephants, they're so conditioned that once you put that rope around their ankle, even though they're strong enough to just pull that thing right out of the ground with no problem, they're conditioned to not move, and they're just going to stay there. That's how powerful conditioning is, and that's how black males are when it comes to protecting these old mamas.
Let me say something.
You're talking generations of masculinity that has been raised solely by the feminine.
Mm-hmm. Let me say something. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, brother Mike, brother Super Mike. Go ahead.
The thing I wanted to say about the law is just practically, you got to think about it. In the system, which is rewarding of the white society and designed to keep a particular group in power, it's easier for them to use the female to give her roles that traditionally the male would have. So they're going to incentivize her to compete with you. And so you're going to have all this type of back and forth fighting. So they're going to give her rights. They're going to enforce her rights above the males, right? And so this is a key weapon in their arsenal. And it makes you look bad. It demasculinizes you. So this law, if you want to equate that and free up more money in your pocket to allow you to do more things that you want to do, that's not going to be something that they're going to encourage. And then transfer that, even if a significant amount of black people got control of their own systems, your law would not be conducive to the growth of power of the black societies, because we would want to, most of us would probably, I believe, would want to try to discourage all abortion. I don't know if we would make it directly illegal, but we would want to somehow incentivize people not to be more responsible with their pregnancies. You understand what I'm saying? So responsibility is what's going to be encouraged to build power in any black dominated situation. So that's what I'm saying. Like, right, the reason why that is just, I think it's, I mean, you can go do this and go try it, but it's just not going to be something that is going to, you know, help anybody. Nobody's incentivized.
And you don't think that if men had the right to financially abort a child, you don't think that a positive consequence to that would be women would be a little bit more choicier into who they choose to have children by? Because let's face it, because I mean, women have all manner of ways to not have children. I mean, all the way to the second, third month of pregnancy, they can abort. So if there is a single mother or single parent home or fatherless home and all of that, that's by choice. So so if men had the ability to financially abort, to not have anything to do with that child financially, you don't think that at some point there where women would say, you know what, yeah, this is not going to be beneficial to me? Because right now it's beneficial to them because they can basically extort men out of money.
Exactly. You don't see what I'm saying? And that's all by design. Just like T.P.O.T said. He said a single mother.
I have an alternate, because my ultimate solution, if that don't work, is a lot worse.
Let me respond to what you just said. T.P.O.T said single parent mother homes, they have the girls are more promiscuous, the boys are less responsible. There's more poverty. These are all benefits to your group not having power to challenge and to compete in the world. Why the heck would any white society give the males more power to control the behavior of the females? You see what I'm saying?
No. You make a very good point. You make a very good point. And to that, my answer would be my answer to at least black men. Okay. And if that don't work, if we can't at least petition the government in which we pay taxes to start passing laws that would be more equitable in terms of the sexes and all of that. If we can't petition them to do that, even though in the face of all the evidence and all of that, then I would say then for black men to stop dating, fucking, excuse me, T.P.O.T, dating, fucking, marrying, or anything outside of business with black women. Period.
Okay, that's not human nature, though. You see,
no,
that's
it is. No. Hold on, no. You let me finish.
Well, even I say, I'm just saying
because what I would say. No, I'm not for date. Not what I would say is that you go to other cultures of blacks of the world. That's fine. And replace black women in America with those in order so we can rebuild the community. Because if our government would not take
our government, see, that's where you see, even the writer of the petition said,
I'm not gonna argue semantics and all of that. If the United States government, in which we pay taxes to, whether it be voluntarily or through coercion, we pay taxes to, who would not take up our complaints as to what is hurting us. If they don't do that, then black men, we need to completely start leaving these women alone and replace their ass, because we have that ability to do that. They don't. We do.
That's not human nature,
like though, brother. No. I've done it. What do you mean it's not human nature? I've done it. I got my black one right here.
You are single. You're individual.
I'm not single. I'm married. What are you talking about? I'm married with a pregnant wife. What are you talking about? That's not ADOS. I'm saying avoid ADOS women. If that don't work, avoid them.
But hear my point so you can respond to my point, my actual point. I'm saying that right now we're talking about making policy for a group. So we're concerned about group behavior, right? Mm-hmm. We're concerned about a behavior that we can put and change the behavior of a group. So when you present your single individual behavioral choice, you see what I'm saying?
I'm not the only one doing it, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, you're not the only one, but I'm saying to you that you can say okay, that the American women is not gonna get no dates from the American men, but that's just not human nature. People are raised together. There are new children coming of age every year. They're not listening to us. It's gonna happen, man. So
Well,
what I'm
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about uh, 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 at least a sizable enough number to where it's going to get a lot of people's attention. I'm not saying you're not going to get everybody, and I'm not advocating for everybody.
okay.
Hell, not everybody, not every man should. Not every
Well,
man
this is what
deserves
this
to.
law is. This is what this law is designed. He says he wants to give all the men in this country the
No, no,
right.
I was referring to my solution. Should
Right,
that
right.
not work?
Right. And all I'm saying is, I'm just saying that these things have to be considered, and these are the realities, and it's not about roles and gender roles and all these type of things. This is about competition. It's about power. And so if you want to ignore that, keep on ignoring it and keep doing what you do. But at the same time, this is where we keep smacking our head against the wall and not getting the power to
What do you mean when you say
implement.
this is about power? What do you mean by that?
This is about power. See, the thing is, the male is supposed to have the power to control the behavior of his family. And
Hmm.
right now, we're in a system that they want to make it easy for themselves to compete against us. So they use their legal system to strip those powers away from us. And it's very easy to use the woman to give her those powers, and that way she's used to having those kind of powers, and now when the male wants to take his rightful position in a family, there she's there to kind of, she doesn't want to give up those rights. You see what I'm saying?
Then
And
don't
so
deal.
there's
Then
oh,
well, things don't deal with those type of women. Period.
okay, yeah, that's the point.
You
But the
don't
point
deal with those
is,
type of women.
okay, I understand that, and you're right, I agree with that. But the point is, though, I'm just saying that this is a benefit to, when you're talking about instituting a law, that means you're going to a government, or you're going to either create a government yourself, which we can do because we have the numbers to do that. But we can create a government, but even in our own government, we would be against these type of systems because it's not going to bring power to for us to make these type of decisions. See, you got to do
You're not creating
legwork.
a government, or you're not creating a government that's
Wait,
going to be
wait a
external
minute.
to the.
Wait
You're
a
not
minute,
creating
brother
a
Super
government.
Mike. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How would we not, if this thing goes through, right?
Okay.
Say
Well,
AI's law goes to the governor's office and the governor stamps it and it becomes a law. How is
okay.
that not power? How is that not power
Yes.
if men's rights have been increased, if men have gained these rights, men will have some degree of power because they will not be
Exactly.
able to be forced. They wouldn't be able to be
Exactly.
forced into
You're not.
anything. They wouldn't
I don't
be
know
able
if
to
you're.
be forced into fatherhood. So how is
Yes,
that not power?
it is
I don't
power. And
understand.
so that's what I'm saying. It is power. So what incentive does a group who is trying to maintain their power over you, why would they give you power to incentivize your family? Why would they put more money in your pocket to make decisions? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
This is this is what I'm trying to get y'all to see, because you're dealing with a group of people who is competing against you,
yeah,
and you're
but
thinking,
the petition isn't just limited to black men though,
but
Super Mike. It
It's
would
very
be for
general.
all.
that's
It would be for
Very
all
general.
men, not just
okay.
black
That
men.
sounds
Black
good.
men would
Sounds good. But
just benefit from it.
just like the stand your ground laws, right? So we know that the laws are applied unfairly in this system here. So that's all I'm saying. When right now there's white men who are doing this financial abortion thing as we speak. We know there are many of them, and they don't go to jail like we go to jail. They do get some child support. I hear them on the job always complaining about child support, but not to the levels that we are. I see brothers. I mean, they just murder our checks. I literally see this. Our checks are getting murdered, right? So I'm just saying this, and we sit in jail. I mean, on the slightest, uh, if you're delayed or any kind of, I mean, the judge is, I mean, they talk to you like you're a little boy in court. tell you to shut up. All these different type of things black men go through in courts of law over child support. They'll have you sitting in jail with murderers and criminals and drug dealers because you lost a job and couldn't pay the same amount of child support. So,
Okay, so what would
this is my point. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Why are they going to give that up? That is a major weapon against you, right?
no, I agree. I agree with that. But what would be your solution? What would be your what would you do?
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question also.
I mean, I would debate. I would debate JI on Saturday if you have any openings.
Saturday is booked. We book pretty early around here, brother Super Mike. Next Saturday is booked as well. How about we do it? Well, I got a debate on Wednesday. I got a debate on Thursday. I have the J Shine series on Saturday. So we talking next. We talking week after next.
And that would give his petition.
I'll hit you up.
Yeah, and that would give his petition a little bit more promotion. Now go ahead and ask me those questions.
I would like to know what would you do. I would like to know what would you do.
Yeah,
I'll answer, but go ahead, T.P.O.T.
What I want to know is, so should we scrap pursuing? You know, not that I need to speak for Brother J.I. He could do this for himself, but
of course,
should the petition be scrapped for the simple fact that if it does pass as a law, it's going to be for the fear of it being not applied evenly to us black folk, is what you're saying. If it does become a law, black folk ain't going to benefit from it the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, history. You're making it sound like it's irrational for me to think that. But we got 400 years of history.
I'm not saying that, Super Mike.
Right. Go ahead.
What I'm asking you is, should it not be pursued out of the fear that it won't be applied evenly when it comes to black people?
Not for fear. I'm going to answer both of those questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, so he asked me first, so what is my solution? This is where I do agree with J.I. Fairness. We need to be the females and the males should be treated fairly, but we should discourage abortion on both sides. Now, females are actually having the baby.
I got a question on that one.
And I know. And women would hate me too because they don't want to give up any of their rights, and that's the problem that we're having. These women, they've been doing both jobs, and anyway. But the point is, they don't need to be encouraged to kill their own kids. It's really against their nature to want to kill their own kid.
Well, they do it all the time, so that nature goes right out of the window.
Like you said, and I agree, the conditioning. Okay, so we're being conditioned in these weird ways, and we don't seek power. So, but the point is, no, T.P.O.T, we should not abandon that. I don't believe we should abandon that rule out of fear it won't be applied equally. I'm just saying that we should abandon it because it does not bring it makes us equal in a way that diminishes our collective power. It diminishes our collective power because you're talking about that it's going to make these women think better about who they have babies with, but most of these kids that's having babies is kids. You know, kids don't worry about.
So your alternative would be to keep things as they are, including with women to have abortion damn near on demand. Is that your answer to this?
I answered your question first, and you didn't listen, bro. I straight up answered your question.
No, I'm taking your answers to its conclusion. You're saying, okay, you don't agree with abortion either. I don't agree with abortion either.
Okay, so don't say that that's the answer.
But you're saying that, okay, well, you're saying, well, you don't want men to have the financial abortion. You don't agree with the women to have abortion, but you don't want men to have their abortion. So therefore, based on what you're saying, the answer is to a logical conclusion. Well, just keep things the way that they are. And that's the reason why I asked, what is your solution?
That ain't what he said.
Bro, see, that's what I'm saying, Perfect Blackness. If we're going to talk to each other, we got to have, I mean, I know that we listen to these these presidential debates, they lie on each other. The media, they smear each other. But I think that when we're talking to each other, these are some serious subjects.
Yes, they are.
We have to,
and actually more productive.
We have to give each other some respect and at least try to argue what the person is actually saying instead of just making up something so that you can say that they said it when they didn't even mean that. Like the person actually said, I don't want the woman to have abortion. I don't want the men to have abortion. That's my solution. Now you're saying that.
Yes,
okay,
it is.
but you don't agree with it. You don't agree with it.
Okay. So again, let's take this to a logic. If the man is not going to have the abortion, and the women continue to have abortion, then what would be your solution?
I just told you.
So women shouldn't have abortion. So you're saying, do what I believe? Go ahead and abolish Roe v. Wade, and that would be the answer.
Yeah, I think so. That's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying if we're pursuing and putting energy into giving men the right to abort, then that means we can put energy into convincing women that it's not smart to kill your kids.
Okay. So
I would just say that's my solution. That's what I would be putting out.
Okay, fair enough. That's your solution. Now you
don't have to agree with it. And I understand people don't agree with that. And I understand that there's a lot of people that would say that that's not likely, that's not practical. And it's just like the same thing that I'm saying with J.I., but that's not going to change his mind. I believe that he should pursue what he truly believes is real. But it's our job to say what we believe, and then as he pursues his thing, the actual facts pan out. Just like T.P.O.T said, I'm going to keep watching this thing because the actual facts pan out, and then people have to be honest enough and say, okay, it's been 10 years. You've been really pursuing this thing, bro. I mean, can we admit it's not a pride thing? It's not like, oh, I won the argument. Nah. It's not about that. It's just about like, okay, this is just not practical. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody is really incentivized except the black male who wants it to have the financial abortion. But then you got to think about it. Nature, once that man has a daughter, you have 3-4 daughters, right? And then you get a brother, she's pregnant. She doesn't want to kill her kid because you trained her. But here's the dude trying to do financial abortion. Now, that's a man. He's not going to be in support of that.
That's a failure on him and her. But go right ahead.
Well, okay, so failure. People fail all the time. But I'm just saying, you're talking about support for an agenda. You're going to get a lot of men that's going to push back on that agenda for that reason as well.
If that child picks a man, has a baby by a man who wants to financially abort the child, that's a failure on the father for adequately.
And that's fine, but that's not the point. The point is you're going to get pushback against that agenda.
Of course you're going to get. Hell, they got pushed back on every piece of advancement in the nation. They got pushed back.
But from men,
you don't go forward because you're afraid of pushback.
And that's right. But it's not going to be from just conditioning. It's going to be for their family interests because they're going to want to attract. They're going to want men out there, and they're going to want their daughters to attract men who are responsible, not for men who are pushing to be able to walk away and kill their own kids and incentivize women to kill their children. You see what I'm saying? This is not the kind of civilization that we want to have going on where people can disrespect life and kill babies and, put money over family. You see what I'm saying?
The ultimate problem that I have with your position is that, in my opinion, and I know you didn't say this, is that ultimately, it gives deference to the status quo rather than the plight of the man who's paying child support for a kid that he either didn't know or didn't want, or for a woman who's just abusing the system. Is giving deference to just keeping the system at play, at bay, as is, because you just don't want to see men financially abort their child.
No,
at least. No, but how do you know?
I know, but go ahead. What was the other brother going to say?
Look,
I want to hear what you're saying.
let me
Go
jump
ahead.
in.
Go ahead, O'Shea Linus, because we about to wrap this up in a few minutes. So go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm finna check this out. Now, see, the dude keep putting words in the man's mouth. Because the man said, look, eliminate abortions, period. And then that take the whole argument off the table. But he's saying, no, that's not a solution. So when you say that's not a solution, then basically it basically comes down, I'm be honest with you, it basically sounds like you just want to want to do what you want to do and don't want to suffer any of the consequences behind it. Because if
No, see, no,
hold up,
see that language
hold
there,
up,
it's the same when they say Black Lives Matter. Not that I'm a supporter of Black Lives Matter, but you say when they say Black Lives Matter, then other folks come behind and say no, all lives matter. See it's just like that. It's just that effect.
No, dude.
It means nothing.
Look at.
I say, well, we don't want no abortions. It means nothing.
You can say it's offensive all you want to say it, but that's the truth behind it. Because guess what?
That's the truth by you.
If you take abortion off the table, then you kill the whole entire argument.
So then we just canceled out everything then.
Exactly.
Exactly. We just canceled out everything and we keep abortions as it is. Yep, abortions on demand. A man can get put on child support for a kid that he didn't even want, or even he may not even known about. See, just cancel. See, like that's right. All lives matter. Blue lives matter. Everybody matters. It means nothing. It means nothing. You're not saying anything.
No, I'll tell you what then.
You gotta get dressed. In order to get changed, you gotta get dressed. You cannot get changed by keeping the status quo. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? So look here. If you want to be mad about this and talk like somebody, we can do that. But now if you just want to keep over talking because you all in your feeling, then I'll go about my business.
I'm not all in my feelings. I'm just speaking my point strongly.
Now
you may not be able to take it, but I'm just speaking my point strongly and masking like a man. That's all.
You're being rude, Perfect. You're being rude, though.
Exactly. Now let me put this out here. Since we want to talk about fairness and we want to say the woman should have chosen a better dude to sleep with, hold up. If we're going to be about fairness, then maybe he should have waited till he got married to that woman to have sex with her. Now, wouldn't that be fair?
Right.
No, because that's not even realistic. See that's that Steve Harvey bullshit. That's that Steve Harvey bullshit that don't make no goddamn sense.
Yes, and
that's
the
Steve Harvey.
petition.
That's that bullshit, man.
And the petition isn't about that. The petition, the brother clearly said, said that the petition is about post-pregnancy.
Yes.
Not before, because I asked him about that too. I asked him, did he think that the petition would have more teeth if it was based on, if it was centered around before the pregnancy? And he said, no, the petition is about after the pregnancy. So if it's post-pregnancy, they done already fucked, they done conceived, the kid is in her gut. So that's where the petition is moving from. It's not moving from any other place. Saying that you shouldn't have slept with the girl has nothing to do with the petition that the brother is the architect of. Has nothing to do with that, because he says it's post-pregnancy, not pre-pregnancy. That's what he said. I asked him about it. That's what he said. Yeah. So,
facts.
T.P.O.T, I hear what you're saying, but see, even with that being said, they keep making the argument about the woman. Well, if you do that, then the woman will sleep with a better guy. Hold up. We can't talk about fairness and what the woman will do after the law is passed that a man can financially abort his financial abortion. We can't talk about that. We're talking about the man also. So look here. Don't put yourself in that position to start with, or do your very best not to, which will be married to that woman before you actually sleep with her and get her impregnated. That way the man will have some say over the child, period. Because if that woman get pregnant and that man ain't married to that woman, he has no say, period. It's a done deal.
And to that, I would say that that's the whole crux of the matter right there. That's the whole crux of the matter right there. So your argument, with everything that you just said will be platinum. It will be gold.
Yeah.
If a woman didn't have that type of outsized power and ability once conception is taking place.
Yeah.
There is no reason for a woman to have that type of or that level of outsized equality or power over the man, over the child after
Yes, it
conception.
is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. See,
Listen,
that's that dilute
listen.
model.
Hear me out.
That's
Hear me
that
out.
dilute.
Hear me out.
No. Let me get this out.
I'm
That's that
gonna let you
dilute
get it out.
model. Hold on. That's that dilute model. That's that tender years model type of crap. That's where
No, there's a
it
reason.
comes from.
There's a
No, that's where
reason
it
they have
comes from.
that power. There's a reason they have that power, and that's what y'all forgetting. That's a weapon. They have that power because the state it helps the state's objective.
All
And
the
y'all
more
keep
reason
forgetting that.
all the more reason that men should have a financial abortion option.
But who are you asking to give you that option? See,
Then if they won't give it to us, just leave these American black women alone.
Oh, that's something else I was gonna bring up. I'm sorry, I ain't meant to interrupt. Pardon me for interrupting. Okay, let's say we go down that road too. We're gonna leave these 8 doses of women alone. We're gonna go across. We're gonna go below the border. We're gonna go across the water. But guess what? Hold up. But we're gonna bring them back to America. Guess what? You ain't fooling with the 8 dose women, but you still hold up, stop. But you still up under that same government that you could not defeat. So
I would like to answer that, but go right ahead. I got an answer for that.
why not just
I debate this a lot.
Look,
Go
hold
right
up.
ahead.
Why not just leave the whole entire country, period, and be done with it?
Okay, so I can answer. All right. So the reason why I say you go get another woman, I'm gonna say a black one because I don't date outside of my race. But the reason why you would do that is because even though you may be bring them back over here, or you even meet them over here, you may bring them back over here and all that, and they can do the same things. They can do it, but they're not predispositioned to do it. They're not culturally conditioned to do the bullshit that black American women do. They're not. They are less likely to do it. I'm not saying that they won't do it. I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm saying that they're far less likely to put you through the fuckery.
Eddie, give me half, Eddie. Half, Eddie. I want half, Eddie.
Don't start that shit up here, man. Well, look, man, we about to wrap this shit up, man. So
I
everybody,
had to let him get that crap out.
I
had to let him get it out. I had to let him
throw
get it
your
out.
parting shots. Everybody, throw your parting shots because we about to wrap this shit up. Go ahead. Whoever want to go can go.
Let me throw this in here that I'm gonna jump off. But then, okay, but it's already been established and proven. After that second or third generation, those children basically end up being so Americanized, you can't even tell them apart. Can't even tell their ancestors was even from wherever you went and got their mother from, their mother or grandmother from. So basically, you're still in the same situation, and you did not answer the question on why are you still in America under the same laws that you cannot defeat. Why? Are you
Because my ancestors built it. That's why. That's your answer.
Oh well, then you just lose. You had to lose the fight, then. So
my ancestors built it, and I can trace my ancestors all the way back to the fucking Civil War.
Guess what?
So I have every reason to rebuild my community with goddamn women who would be cooperative.
Look, you fighting.
Now I answered your question, so you can't say so you can get that out your mouth. I answered your question.
Fighting the win, and you're gonna lose every time. All right, I'm out. Appreciate that, T.P.O.T.
Peace, brother O'Shea Linux, man.
Later.
Brother, peace. Anybody else, brother Super Mike?
Y'all give Perfect Black the last word since
I
give you the last word. You agree with Ji, so it would be good for you to have to have the last word. But I would just say this. I would say, my thing is this. I wish we would think more in power dynamics. And I'm talking about power to run the whole show, not power over our women, because we'll automatically have power over our women if we think in power to run the whole show, and we shouldn't be trying to scare our women with our power. Talking about these type of narratives that we come out on how we're gonna be so hard on these women and these women need to be punished and these type of things. These incentivize our women to help the white supremacists oppress us because they're scared of you. They're scared of living under your rule. You see what I'm saying? And that's what Cynthia G and all of them talk about. They're talking about, oh, we can't let the black men get power over the white supremacists because they're going to be harder on us. Look at the Moors. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying we just need to think in strategy, because your competition is not your women. It's that dude who's trying to keep you in a mindset of coming to him to ask him for goodies and benefits and questions. He's not going to give you that, because then if you get power over him and be able to run your own system, then he's not going to have the benefit of your money, because he get to take your check every time you go to the welfare or to whatever office, how this child support stuff is. So, that's my parting line. So we'll see what happens. All right.
All right. Peace, brother Super Mike. My brother Perfect Black, man. Parting shots.
Hey, look, man, I'm a Gen Xer. All right. I'm 45 years old, and I'm really, really hard on baby boomers. And as you could see from some of the people that was on this panel afterwards, is that you could see the failure of it. Okay, because they have really sold us down the river with some terrible, terrible policies that has led to, among other things, single mother led homes, and we see where that has gotten us. Okay, look, if on the one hand we're going to argue that we can't do this because the system is not going to, the people who run the system is not going to let us do it because they run it, but at the same time we're going to be working within it, and at the same time we're not going to at least support some type of petition that's going to at least try to change the laws. Look, will it be successful? Maybe not, but the conversation has to be started. And I can tell you right now, my solution to this, especially for black men, when I'm speaking for the black community, for black men, because somebody who counsels and mentors black boys here in Chicago, I tell them all the time, don't marry until you're in your 30s. Don't even think about it. Don't do it, because you're going to be, first of all, you got to get yourself right. Right. So look here. When I say that my solution would be more extreme, and I'm proud of that extremity, is don't replace ADOS black women. I'm not talking for all of them, but for all those guys like myself who got the ability to do so. Because you don't need all, you just need just a groundswell of enough guys who are bringing black women of other cultures who are going to be cooperative, who are not going to who are not predispositioned to use the system against you, to lie on you, to falsely accuse you, and all of that type of stuff, in order just to get an upper hand on you in family court. You're talking to somebody who has spent now in excess over $30,000 just in lawyers' fees and court fees just to stay involved in my child's life, who's in a room right in my home right now. So yeah, there is something else that needs to be done other than to say, well, I don't agree with abortion, but I don't agree with financial abortion, so we'll just keep everything the same. No. Things cannot stay the same the way they are. They can't. Things do have to change. The conversation does have to be started. They can say that this guy's young and all that, but he does have a petition. And that petition is righteous. And I think all men, all black men, should be putting their signature on that and putting a coinage to it. Because I can tell you right now, they may not change the laws. And it may even be an upper hill battle to change the laws. But at least the conversation gets started. That's all I got, Brother T.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, brother Perfect Black. We're gonna see, man, where it goes, and I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna follow it. Everyone knows that Brother J.I. is part of the league, so I'll have him up here time to time, to update us on it, and we'll see how it pans out, man. We'll see where it goes. I'm interested in it. It's got my attention, and God damn it, I'm going to follow it. I am going to see where this thing goes. I'm going to check it out. And like I said before, if it makes its way to the governor's desk, I would like to see what happens after that. You know, post being signed into law. I would love to see that. I would love to see how things would change because of said law. I would love to see it. I think there would be a lot of complications involved with it, but I think overall it would be a good thing for men. You know, it would be a good thing for men, and it would cause women to kind of reevaluate how they operate as well. So we're gonna stay on it, you know, and see how it pans out. Oh shit, let me put my camera on. But we about to wrap up, and a few programming notes because we got a really heavy schedule, man. Y'all know that Saturday, all right, Saturday night, the one and only Obsidian will be here, because y'all know Saturday is Obsidian versus the world Saturdays. So brother Obsidian will be here Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, and y'all know how it goes. Brother Obsidian will come up and he will be able to debate 4 people at once. Whoever want to come up and challenge Brother Obsidian, feel free to do so. He will be here Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Obsidian versus the world. But be careful though, because the rules of the Obsidian debates are a little more stringent than the regular debates. So pay attention to the reading of the rules at the beginning of the show, because don't mess around and get DQ'd because you messed around and you stepped outside the boundaries of the rules. Don't let that be a reason that DQs you. All right? Because I hold everybody to the same standard, including Obsidian himself. And I have to do it because what we're asking Obsidian to do. So I have to put some type of strict regulations on it, because when you come up here, the brother doesn't know what you're going to debate. He don't know if you prepared for a week, 2 weeks, 2 days, a month, nothing. And he's pretty much debating you on the fly, and he's willing to debate you and 3 other people. Therefore, the rules have to be a little more stringent. Also, coming up this week, we have a debate. I haven't formulated the thumbnail for that one yet. We have a debate between my man AJ and my man Big Nate. Will be throwing down Wednesday night as well. Also, Thursday night, we will be having another challenge night. We won't be doing DXL. We'll be having a challenge night, and the challenge will be this fella here. Well, actually, no, I got it mixed up, y'all. My bad. The Supreme King Coon Challenge will be Wednesday. Nate and AJ will be debating Thursday. So the Supreme King Coon Challenge will be Thursday night, because we've been doing a lot of these challenge shows. Wednesday night, Brother Supreme will be here. We'll be doing the Supreme King Coon Challenge. And then Thursday night, my man AJ and my man Big Nate will be stepping into the Digital Squared Circle. And I don't even know what they're debating yet. I have no idea, y'all. I guess I'll find out when I do all the thumbnails for this stuff. So just make sure you have your black behinds here 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday and Thursday, because Wednesday night will be the Supreme King Coon Challenge. Thursday night will be Big Nate versus AJ up in here. Then next Saturday, My boy Jay Shine will be back, part of the Jay Shine series. My boy Jay Shine will be back in the house Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. And Brother Jay Shine, who knows what Brother Shine gonna come up in here and say, but he will be here Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know. So, you know, we got a full lineup up in here, y'all. A full lineup coming for your black behinds. You know, you heard Mike, Brother Super Mike wanted to debate Brother J.I., but I'm like booked for like the next week. So we have to push that off to like the week after next. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get that one going too. Eventually, I'll hit Brother J.I. up and hit Brother Super Mike up as well. And we'll see if we can get that one going possibly Wednesday or Thursday, because I think that following Saturday, 2 Saturdays from this coming Saturday, I think we have something else we're doing. I'm not even sure, man. I gotta check the schedule, man, because it's the booking is heavy around here at T.P.O.T. But just keep your eyes open for the thumbnails, man. I'll probably throw them up tomorrow, because y'all know Fridays I don't work. I take Fridays off. So tomorrow I'll throw all the thumbnails up. Y'all will see them all up there, and y'all will know what we're doing. I'm going to hit Brother AJ up and hit my man Nate up, call them tomorrow, find out what they're going to be debating so I can go ahead and put that up. And then I'm also going to put up the thumbnail for the Supreme King Coon Challenge, which is Wednesday night. And the thumbnail will be up for the Jay Shine series for the following Saturday as well. All right. All right. So I'm going to run a few of my damn commercials, and then we're going to peel up out of here. I will see you good folks on the other side of the break.
Peace, folks. Open your mind. Wednesday, we throw down in the digital square circle on Hours of Power debates. Thursday, we get at it with DXL, Dark Exodus Live. So come through, 9:30 p.m. right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know. Open your mind. Hey guys, T.P.O.T on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But you knew that already.
Yeah. So I appreciate all you good people, man, for coming out tonight, man. You know I always do. I appreciate you good folks, man, up here in this here chat right here. And I appreciate you good folks out there, man, for all that you do, man, the way you support this platform, man. It is just phenomenal. It's outstanding. It's magnificent, the way you support this platform, man. Special shout out, man, to the brothers who came through tonight. My man Perfect Black, Brother O'Shea Linux, Brother Super Mike, and Brother J.I. for coming up here and laying out the premise of his petition. And like I said, I'll have the brother up here again at some point. So stay tuned, man. And like I said, man, we're going to be throwing down for like the next week, y'all. All right. Remember, we got Obsidian versus the World Saturday. Wednesday, we got the Supreme King Coon Challenge. Thursday, we got Big Nate versus AJ. And then Saturday, we got another installment of the Jay Shine series. So that's 5 shows already booked for y'all. 5 shows booked for y'all already, because that's what we do here. All right. I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight, man. Good shit tonight. If anybody wanna, and also Wednesday, I forgot, we might have a double header because legendary Top Cats was on my show the other night, and the brother says he's willing to debate somebody. He's willing to debate somebody on a topic of, I think, the origins of American Indians, I believe, or Indians in general. I think he wants to debate somebody on that. So we might do a double header Wednesday night. I got to get with brother Top Cats to see if he's available Wednesday night. He said he was. So I'm going to see if he wants to come on, because if he wants to come on Wednesday night as well, we're going to go ahead and do a double header Wednesday night. You know how X likes those open your mind. Peace, folks. Once again, on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page, we are back with another hard-hitting double header. Yeah, we might have a hard-hitting double header up in here Wednesday night, but I can't be for sure because I haven't spoke to legendary Top Cats yet. Once I get in contact with him, then I'll know. So just look out for the thumbnails. All right, y'all. All right. So once again, man, I will leave you with 3 words. Like I always do. Open your minds. Peace, folks.
Only from the Prophet of Thought series media.
You know.
Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.